In the previous video, I talked on how we should celebrate that is part 1, how we should celebrate our diversity or our differences. We have to understand that we cannot coexist when we don't have respect for the diversity in spiritual understanding, in culture, and in topography. If we don't have that respect for that differences, we will always continue to live in discord. So I explained how we should embrace it and allow it to become a part of us, a thing to celebrate and not a thing to fight ourselves. And part 2 of the video, I talk on how we can replace morality with functionality, how we can replace justice with adaptability, how we can replace ownership with sustainability. Now I will explain into detail the difference or how functionality and morality works, how justice and adaptability work, how ownership and sustainability works, so that we can now see for ourselves which of this principle is this the concept of morality we wish to continue to live our life by those standards, or it is the concept or the principle of allness which talks of functionality, adaptability, and sustainability. That is, what is functioning right now? What do we desperately wish to create as a nation, as an individual? What do you desperately wish to create for yourself and for the world and for mankind? Okay, when you look into that and then you ask yourself, what is functioning right now? Is it the right way to continue? If not, then you change it, you reconcile. If what is functioning is okay, you can adapt to it without infringing upon the free will of other entities. And if you can adapt to it in love, in peace, and in unity, with all harmony, without discord, then you allow it. You cannot then move to the next step, which is the step of sustaining it, so that we cannot continue the journey. But the concept of morality talks of just, right, and wrong. It only deals on ownership. Like it talks of what works and what does not work. Once what works for you, then you now strive for the next step, which is what? Justice. And the next step has no principles, no guideline. It all deals with boils around destructions, infringing upon the free will of another entity. And what works for you based on morality, once you strive for it, fighting for what we call justice, what next is for you to own it. Because we live in lack mentality, with that darkened mentality that we should own things. When generation from generations, life have proven itself to us that no one owns anything. We are just entities on this earth, in this third density of duality, to exercise, to evolve, to learn lessons, to coexist, to see how we can evolve together as collective entities. But because we lack this understanding, as Hosea lamented in chapter 4 verse 8, he said we are perish, we are doomed. That's why also in Psalms 82 verse 1 to 6, he said we are God on earth. And because we lack this understanding, we are what? We die like mere men. Yes. Because we lack the understanding of what it means to be God on earth and what God on earth ought to do. Because we don't even know the functions of God, and of which Abraham gave us that function. He called the Creator Abba, Father, which if you go into the Hebrew pictograph of the interpretation of that phrase, it means Abba means the source of all things, the sustainer of all things, and the defender of all things. That is our duty, that is our responsibility, and it is upon this principle that all of life evolve. The principle of functionality, adaptability, and sustainability. We are the source of all things. It is time for us to birth all things. It is time for us to make sure that we sustain those things because we are adapted to it. And then we defend those things. Defending in love, not with discourse or by destroying those very things. So I'm going to explain to you all functionality versus morality, justice versus adaptability, ownership versus sustainability. I want you to understand, brethren, that a thought, word, or actions is only correct or right if it functions in what you are being or doing or having. Then that thought or word or action is correct. That gives us a notion, that understanding that nothing is right and nothing is wrong based on the intention of the bearer. He who bears that actions or that thought. For example, I might decide to live my life that I will not taste alcohol, or I don't wish to taste or to drink alcohol. And that's my free will. And if I accept it, it will become my nature, my lifestyle, my reality. And definitely I will lose interest. There will be no that iota of trying or wishing to drink alcohol in me, because I've allowed it to be my nature or my reality, to become my reality. Right? From the onset, if you have been drinking alcohol, it will take you some time to adapt. But once you adapt to it, it has become your lifestyle, your reality. And that is the path you have chosen for yourself. But by the moment you deviated from that path and taste alcohol or drink alcohol, then you will see that morally, according to moral, that is wrong. You were not supposed to do it, because you have offered your free will to not drinking of alcohol. But the moment you drink alcohol, you have that becomes wrong to you, because your lifestyle, the reality you give to yourself, is that of non-drinking of alcohol. But someone who has offered his free will to drinking of alcohol is not wrong to that person. That's why if he Paul himself made it clear that if you are eating there's some meat or beef or animals that you eat and others does not drink, don't criticize them because they are not eating those type of animals. Example, pork. That's why even if you go further in the Bible, there's one point where the Lord told Peter that don't call anything I've created unclean. So what is right to you might be wrong to me, and what is wrong to me might be right to you. So that gives us an understanding that nothing is right and nothing is wrong based on the intention of the bearer. So, but morality has gained room. We have allowed morality to look like that is all of life. That all of life evolve around morality. No, if all of life evolve around morality, then there will have been no life. Life on this third density who have elapsed. Yes, there will have been no life existing. Because morality is the principle that destroy and continue to destroy with the intention for justice and ownership. And it has proven, he has continued to set us to go to war, into battle for many aeons. It is time for us to reconcile that energy and give birth to the energy of love, peace, and unity under the principle of oneness, the principles of allness. And and for us to do that, now we have to take a shift in consciousness into the principles of allness, the principles of oneness, which is based on functionality, adaptability, and sustainability. Yes. Functionality, it is the focus on the present, the now moment, or the reality. While morality, it is replacing the past or bringing the past into the now or the future. And the past and the now can never be the same. None of you can deny that fact. Morality is focusing on the present reality, on the present situation. That is functionality. Functionality is the focus on the present situation, on the present reality. Why morality is the replacing of the past, or bringing the past into the present or the future. And the past and the now can never be the same. That is why you see the many wars that we have fought and continue to fight until we decide not to fight any longer. Those wars has all their root of what happened in the past. What happens in the past? What went wrong in the past? We always ignore the now moment, which is the living, which is that which we should focus on. We always ignore the now moment and consider and bring the past, the errors of the past, the mistake of the past, and the stories of the past into the now or the future. And how then do we evolve? Have we become that lazy that we cannot handle the now moment? Functionality is what? Focusing on the outcomes expected. We are to focus on the outcome expected, then choosing the alternative that will produce that outcome. Yes. It is time for us to leave the past for the past and focus on the now based on the outcome we are expecting. You cannot be expecting a society of peace, unity, and respect for the government, and yet you, the government, keep showing disrespect for the youth, and you expect them to respect you. You cannot say you are building a society that revolves around forgiveness, around love and justice, which I now term adaptability, and yet you go ahead giving life imprisonment, death sanction by hanging, shooting, and so on, and you expect to reap a society that is void of cruelty, anger, bitterness. And yet you continue to sow the seed of anger, the seed of bitterness. You now see how the idea or the concept of morality is not helping us. So it is time for us now to focus on the now. If you wish to emerge, if you expect a society of peace, of forgiveness, then you have to set in place laws that will promote peace and forgiveness, and see how you will not reap what you have sown. If we wish not to expect or experience an anarchy society, then we have to make sure we replace morality with the principles of honest, which is functionality, adaptability, and sustainability. Otherwise, an anarchy society awaits us, unless we decide for it not to be our reality or our experience. Yes. It is time for us to be united, then focus on what works in unity or towards unity. That is the mastermind of functionality. So now, talking on justice versus adaptability, our today's societal justice system is based on rewards or paybacks. And that is a kind of society we tell ourselves that we want to emerge as a nation or as a people of love, peace, and unity by 2035, with this mental construct of a societal justice system that is based on rewards and payback, continuous chaos, and causing men to strive and fight each other in order to get reward or to revenge. Where is the place of love? Where is the place of love? With this societal justice system that is based on reward or paybacks, thus obeying that belief of a God who punish and our moral constructions of right and wrong. How can the Creator who have loved us with an everlasting love punish us again in eternal hell? That is there is a misconception that they are not telling you. How can the same Creator who created all things beautiful command us to still sacrifice animals whom He Himself created for Him to entice Him, for Him to forgive our sins? There is a misconception. There is a truth. There is something they are not telling you. But here at Center of Adepthood, all misconceptions are being cleared away. All polarities are harmonized. All paradoxes have their solutions, and all complexity are simplified. Yes. I want to ask us a question based on our justice system. By executing what we call moral justice, we forget what we are creating. I hope we understand that by executing what we call moral justice, we forget what we are creating: peace, unity, love, and forgiveness. That is what our soul, the soul of all entities, of every individual, wish to experience. Peace, a situation of peace, a society of peace, a society of unity, love, and forgiveness. Adaptability is working in accordance with divine laws of cause and effect, or the principle of sowing and reaping, or selectivity. You cannot sow bitterness and grief by death sentence, by hanging, and expect to reap a society that is happy. Why not forgive as an example? It is at this junction I will take you to explain ownership versus sustainability. It is time to see the truth and select what is best and continue with understanding. It is time to see the truth and select what is best and continue with it. Understand, no one owns anything. We are all only stewards. It is time for us to create that very society of love, peace, and unity, and live and life will sustain whatever you or we have created. That is karma. That is why I say we have to do what? Adaptability is working in accordance with divine laws of cause and effect, or the principles of sowing and reaping, or selectivity. So it is time for us to create that very society of love, peace, and unity, and life will sustain whatever we create. Whatever you create, that is karma. No one's owned anything, so there is nothing to own. It is time for us to allow life to sustain. For life is ready to sustain whatever we set in motion. That is why we have set in motion the energy of morality, which is based on what is right, or what works, or what does not work. And that's why we continue to reap the fruit of bitterness, anger, chaos, from aeons up to date. Now is the moment to reconcile that energy and set another new energy, the energy of principle, the energy of the principle of oneness in motion, the energy of the principles of allness in motion, so that we now can reap a better fruit. That fruit of love, that fruit of peace, that fruit of forgiveness, that fruit of unity, and that fruit of harmony as we emerge by 2035, so that we all can build a mastermind and be harvested as a collective entities, what the Bible call or terms it rapture. I love you all, brethren. Shalom, namaste. May the spirit of the infinite creator rest and abide with you and your family. Shalom, let it be so.